Hello, today I'm going to talk about loneliness because it's a common problem with people with autism and Asperger's syndrome, but I don't think it's always a problem. So yeah, stay with me and we'll talk about loneliness. So the first thing I'd like to touch on is obviously, well, in my opinion anyway, loneliness isn't always a bad thing. As autistic people, we need a lot of time to recuperate and recover and calm down from all the things in the outside world that make us drained and exhausted and tired. You know, there's a lot of social things, there's a lot of sensory things, there's so much going on that we do need a lot more time than the regular average person to calm down and just feel okay, and that's totally fine. But in my personal experience, sometimes it does happen, and it's all about getting that balance between isolating yourself and overdoing it. So I feel like I've gone through one extreme to the other in my life, and back and forth again, and I feel like now I've got the right balance. So in my early teens, no, not early teens, late teens, early 20s, I kind of forced myself to go out with people and, you know, kind of copied what they were doing, and that wasn't always necessarily the right thing to do. There was a lot of partying and just doing things that weren't good for me, and I didn't react well to, and I couldn't handle, if you know what I mean. And you know, I'd go out in big groups of people and on a regular basis as well, and the only way that I could cope with that was through alcohol and other things which, you know, I haven't done for a very long time. I have the odd drink now and then, but you know. And oh my god, it was so exhausting. I felt like half a person, not even that, when I was doing all that. You know, it was just, it took up all of my energy, and then I'd have to have days off work and, you know, this, that and the other, and I'd not be performing at work, and I'd not be able to keep up with my daily things that I needed to do, like my housework, my washing. You know, I wasn't looking after myself, I wasn't feeding myself properly, and it was all because of this fast-paced, demanding social lifestyle. And I actually, looking back now, that was kind of one of my loneliest times. Even though I was around all these people, I was still really lonely and really overwhelmed. So yeah, I kind of learned then that that probably wasn't the best thing for me. After that time in my life, I think that was my early 20s, that I kind of decided to move away from certain things and just get my life together a bit. So I moved back in with my mum and dad. I split up with my ex-boyfriend, and basically everybody stopped talking to me, so I was completely on my own. And you know, it would upset me and I would feel lonely, but at the same time that gave me the opportunity to start doing things that I'd never done before. So like really addressing my mental health problems and seeking out proper help for that and sticking to it. That was one of the things. And I started running, and you know, I'd never exercised before that. I was the type of person to like be on my period every PE lesson and stuff. I absolutely hated it, but I started running, and I used to get up at like 5-6 o'clock in the morning when there were nobody about, and it really sorted me out. And yeah, just other stuff, like I just started thinking about, you know, what I wanted out of my life, instead of being kind of drawn to this big group of people and not really fitting in kind of on the same wavelength as them, and yeah, pouring all my energy into that. I was concentrating on myself, which I think is a great pro to being on your own a lot, because you just get time to think about all the things that you haven't got time to think about when you're trying to socialise loads. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of went in and out of different periods of going out all the time and then not going out at all. And you know, people close to me will tell you that I kind of sometimes just like not come out for ages, and then suddenly I'll just come out again and I'll just be like, hi. Surprise bitch, thought you'd seen the last of me. But now I've kind of thought, or learnt should I say, that me being me with my condition and everything, I enjoy socialising, but it has to be with the right people. So it has to be with people that understand me and, you know, I can feel comfortable around, and I haven't got anything to prove to them or anything, and they're not going to judge me, and I have a laugh with them. And I can't socialise with loads and loads and loads of people in one group at one time in one place. That's a big no-no. Big events like weddings and funerals and stuff, I am not very good at all. I've only been to one funeral. That was my boyfriend's granddad's funeral, and I had to sit in the toilet for a while because there were so many people there, and you know, so many people that I'd never met before, but I still wanted to pay my respects, and you know, it was kind of like, it was a really difficult situation to be in. Obviously it would have been more difficult for, you know, his family and stuff that came there, and you know, it's a very sad time, but I don't know, loads of people in one group, that's the point that I'm trying to make, is not good for me. And I assume it's like that for most of the people with autism as well. So yeah, big social events and socialising on a regular basis, i.e. like every night, every other night, you know. When I choose to go out, I will kind of plan in advance, obviously. That's another big one. And I probably won't do anything else social that week. So I'll have like one day going out with friends and stuff, and that will be enough because I've also got work, you know, I'm a carer, so I'm talking to people all day and I love that. But when you get home, it's like, you know, and I class that as social time, you know, even though it's not really social time, it's work. Like for me and my sensory thing and everything, it is still social time. And for me, I think another important thing is the type of activity or thing that I will be doing with friends or whatever it is has to be quite low-key. You know, I can't really, I mean, I have gone out on big nights out and stuff like that, but I don't enjoy it, and I've kind of accepted that I don't enjoy it, and you know, it's a bit of a muchness, and you spend loads of money and you feel like shit for about a week after, you know. So I would rather do something like explore abandoned buildings. That's my favourite thing to do in the world. Or, I don't know, climb up Snowdon or something, you know. Something like that would be my perfect way to socialise, because it's out in the outdoors, there's no alcohol involved, there's no drugs involved, obviously, and it's interesting, you know, it's stimulating in the sense that, you know, you're doing something productive, you're doing something. I think people can push themselves too much, and it's very hard to not do that because there's kind of peer pressure, and sometimes the peer pressure doesn't always seem like peer pressure at the time, and then you look back and you think, you know, they probably weren't doing that maliciously, but they're trying to get me to come out, they're trying to make me do this, they're trying to make me do that. And you know, if you can't do it, or if you don't feel like you want to do that, you don't have to do it. You know, you're well within your rights to say, no thank you, I'm not feeling great, or no thank you, I'm doing something else, or whatever it is. You know, you're under no obligation to do everything with everybody. Right, so when I'm having like a lonely patch, what I try to do is exercise. Exercise is the main one for me, and I'm not saying I'm particularly lonely now, but you know, I've moved to a place where I don't know anybody, and my boyfriend works very long hours. He's got a very busy social calendar. He goes to a lot of weddings and stuff, and obviously I don't like weddings, so I don't go. And I'm alone a lot of the time. So I fill my time with doing productive things like exercising. I've been working on becoming self-employed, which is kind of an ongoing thing. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but you know, it gives me the time to sort of think about these things and, you know, plan things and design things and all that, which is quite nice. And you know, things like home improvement, if there's stuff to be done around your home, or you want to make it look nicer, you want you to put your personal stamp on it, that's quite a good idea to get doing stuff like that. I like to cook as well. Cooking, I don't know why, but it makes me feel good. It didn't used to, because I used to be shit at it, but now I've taught myself to cook properly and to cook loads of different things. I actually get a buzz about it, and you know, I'll make like batch meals and freeze them and stuff, and you know, all that, so I like doing that. Just keeping yourself busy, that's the main thing, and as I said before, focusing on yourself, because why spend that time wallowing? You know, why spend that time getting upset and getting down about things when you could be spending it doing something important, you know, doing something that's going to further you, further your career, you know, just make you feel better as well. You know, that's the main thing. And as well, I kind of like watching series and stuff like that, and some people might like playing video games, or you know, it's kind of like escapism, isn't it? Like, you know, you're feeling a bit shit, you're feeling a bit on your own and that, just go into a completely different world with different characters and, you know, a different storyline and different things happening. It's fine, you know. But in all seriousness, if you are feeling really lonely and you've got nobody to talk to, you can always email me, or message me on Instagram or something. I don't always reply to messages, I'm going to be honest with you, because obviously my condition, you know, sometimes that makes me feel a bit overwhelmed when I've got a lot of messages and I've got a lot of people to reply to and stuff like that. I don't mean to sound like a big head, and I'm not saying that loads and loads and loads of people message me, but sometimes I do find it hard to keep up with. So yeah, bear with me, but don't feel like you're on your own. This is a great community on YouTube for people with autism and Asperger's. So I should have said that earlier, shouldn't I? YouTube, it's a great place to come and, you know, voice what you're feeling and stuff like that, and not have anybody judge you, because we're all in the same boat. So that's it from me. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you don't, fair enough. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.